If you've been following along with the book study, we have already been talking a lot about what needs to change and making a conscious choice to make a change for the better. But today we're going to talk about knowing what is actually yours to change and what's not. And that might seem like a really straightforward topic, but for most of us, it's actually pretty complicated because we spend a fair amount of time and a good amount of energy and mental space thinking about things that are completely outside of our own circle of control. And that can be a really broad topic. Maybe you're thinking about and worrying about things that are happening way out there in the world that are very obviously outside of your personal experience. And that's not to say that you shouldn't care about or be interested in what's happening out there, but some people are very emotionally invested in situations that are literally thousands and thousands of miles away or years and years in the past or future. And that makes it entirely outside of their immediate control. And if there really is nothing that you can do about it and you spend a lot of time and energy thinking about it, you're probably carrying a whole lot of baggage that doesn't belong to you and stirring unnecessary inner and maybe even outer conflict. And I know that isn't always a popular subject. Some people really don't like it when I say that, but the principle of surrender is all about knowing what is yours to fix and yours to carry. And for most of us, a lot of the mental weight in life isn't coming from what's happening in the immediate experience. So much of it comes from trying to control things that were never ours to change in the first place. And I'm pretty sure that if you're doing that, you're not doing it on purpose. But we have to talk about it anyway because your brain will keep doing it if we don't. It'll keep trying to solve and fix, and maybe it'll just keep replaying a problem over and over again, even if you know there is no real solution. Sometimes your brain is looking for problems and making problems out of something that doesn't even exist, and sometimes it's keeping you from doing what you actually could do to make a positive impact, and that really is just the ego trying to protect you. That's part of how we're all wired. The ego is always looking for ways to control everything because control feels like safety. And keeping you safe is that part of you's job. So when something feels uncertain or uncomfortable or scary or unresolved, and certainly if it feels like a threat, your mind just keeps going back to it, and thinking about it and replaying it and trying to find a different outcome, or trying to control other people, or sometimes even trying to stir trouble where there is none to get a reaction or prove a point, looking for ways to win a fight when sometimes it really is just an internal war. Sometimes you really might be the only one involved in the fight. If there really is nothing that you can do about it, especially if we're talking about anything from the past or the future, you end up in a no-win situation. If there's nothing that you can do about it right now, and especially if it has to do with anyone else, you're just stirring more trouble and causing yourself more pain. And if that fight in you is focused on what might happen in the future, especially if it's about what somebody else might do, you're fighting with the unknown. All that effort spent in that unhealthy, unsolvable cycle just turns into pressure. And over time, that pressure can turn into an almost constant mental load. That's where this definition of surrender gets extremely useful. Because for us, surrender isn't about doing nothing. And it's not about losing anything. It's about getting clear on what is yours to change and what isn't. And that clarity matters more than most people think. Because where you put your attention matters. And if your attention is constantly going toward all the things that you don't want, and especially if those are things that you can't control or fix, you're reinforcing mental pathways that lead to anxiety and frustration and very often feelings of failure. Maybe you're reinforcing shame or grief or fear or depression. And if you're feeling stuck in an unhealthy cycle that's causing pain, those are just a few of the emotions that can come up. But when you shift your attention toward what is inside of your personal circle of control, your brain can start focusing on what can be done, and that strengthens more balanced emotional attributes. You can start actively looking for feelings of acceptance and contentment and gratitude. Those are the feelings that increase inner peace and make space for new and better things to grow. For so many people, this is the most emotional, energetic point. The sacral center is like the birthplace of our most intimate relationships and all the feelings that go along with making vulnerable connections. Sometimes really strongly related to the relationships that you have with your parents or your siblings and your closest friends, and certainly in any important romantic relationships in your life. And those feelings are even more emotionally charged because sometimes they all get mixed together. Sometimes you're talking to your boss and it feels like you're talking to your father, and not in a good way. Sometimes the relationships that we have with romantic partners get all mixed up with childhood traumas and painful experiences from the past. Sometimes we expect something from people in our lives today that we didn't get or that we really should be giving ourselves, but we just never learned how to do it. Maybe you didn't get enough of it when you were growing up, and now nothing ever really feels like enough. Or maybe you're taking some of those important relationships for granted because you didn't have good role models for showing you how to appreciate what you have. And I could go on and on with that. Seriously, there's so many different examples and they're all so personal. And I've heard so many stories from clients and I've got so many stories of my own. But the big point here is when you're carrying all that stuff around with you all the time, you're probably not doing anything good for any of those relationships, and certainly not helping the relationship that you have with yourself. All the thoughts that you've been thinking about that are just hurting you. You're stealing your own peace. And that's something that you can change right now. Start setting intentions for making peace. Look for all the peace signs in your life right now and put them at the center of every new intention that you set. Let go of the past. Choose to accept change. Know that this can be a change for the better. Accepting responsibility for your part, offering and accepting help whenever and however you need or can, setting the intention to make new space for all the good things to grow is how you make more peace. Surrender isn't about losing or giving up. It's a reminder to let go and take responsibility for your part in the healing process. No one else can do that for you, and you want to be good to yourself while you're learning and affirming that your feelings are yours to change. And maybe there's something that's calling to be intentionally studied or released. Remember, all those intense feelings are just signals. Intense emotions are often born here in this center that determines how we feel about all those intimate relationships and ultimately how we feel about ourselves. So you're working to clear any energy that feels like fighting a losing battle or hanging on too tightly or holding on to something that you just don't need in your life anymore for too long. And if you're really honest with yourself, you might not even really know what you're fighting for anymore. And if you can learn to refuse that fight, peace will come. It's not about losing or being wrong or giving up or giving in. It's just about letting go. The meditation for surrender is focused on the offering seal. It's a gesture for making peace, clearing space in your head for all the good things in your life to grow. Study the situation, make peace with anything that's not yours to change, knowing that you can always change your state by counting your blessings. And even if they seem small at first, looking for the good and being grateful for what you've got right now. Let gratitude come up to the surface of your attention and focus on living in that space, appreciating all of it. Let go of anything that's standing in the way of you seeing what's good in your life today. And be grateful for the give and take of life, because that's how you learn. That is how you grow. And the prompt for surrender is, what can I offer, accept, or free? Write about it, knowing that you are called to offer everything that you can to make things right. Can you offer the apology or offer forgiveness? You're looking for the lessons and accepting everything that comes along with the learning process, identifying the painful parts if they come up. Don't ignore them, but don't use them to stir more pain either. Just study them. Learn from whatever it is and then set it free. Now you are actively seeking peace. Ask yourself, why am I holding on to this? How could I accept it? How could I set it free? That's how you make more peace in your life and in the world around you. You offer it and you open yourself up to receive it. And the part that is yours to change is where you put your attention. Because peace is always at the center of who you really are. In the best situations, you might still be ignoring it. Even when everything is great, you might still be missing it. And in the worst situations, even when you're in the middle of a really painful place, you can still find it if you look. Pay attention to any feelings that have been showing up to remind you that there is still something that needs to be processed or addressed. And if there is work to do, definitely do it. That part is on you. And that process starts with learning to accept yourself. And that's never an exercise in denial. There really might be things in your life that you do need to change. Remember the progression of the sequence up to this point. The witness is already there on the lookout for action that needs to be taken. And the light is there to remind you of your true power. And now the peacemaker takes its place in the spotlight to help you accept and apply everything that you've learned so far. The expression for making more peace is to let it be, and the archetype is the peacemaker. The physical position is a forward fold, just as a visual reminder to lay down the burden that you've been carrying because it's just not worth it anymore. The action to take, especially if we're talking about someone that you really care about, is to set aside your differences when you can. And if we're talking about someone that's already gone or not good for you or something that happened in the past, is to set it behind you. Lay down that burden. Set it down. You don't have to carry it around anymore. Let other people work on changing themselves while you get busy working on you. Let go of all their stuff. It's not yours. And don't forget that a huge part of this is remembering to forgive yourself and to do what you need to do for you. And if there is something that you can do for someone else, if there's someone that you do need to make peace with, go make it. If there's something that you know you need to do, go do it. But if there really is nothing that you can do, that's when you set it free. Not because it doesn't matter, but because it's just too heavy to carry. And it might not be easy to set it down. If it's something that you've been carrying for a long time, it might be hard for you to put it down, but you can do it. And you can do it with a gentle touch. You don't have to hurt yourself or anyone else to do this. Be kind to yourself while you do this kind of work. That's how you lighten the mental load. And it's worth mentioning that there are physical benefits and tasks that go along with this too. Simplify your life. Get rid of physical possessions that you don't need anymore. And that applies to habits and activities that are unhealthy. If you know it's not good for you, it's time to start getting it out of your life. Sometimes the action to take is actually doing less, sometimes even doing nothing. There is some amount of restraint involved here, and most of us are living in pretty excessive cultures. So that's not necessarily a bad thing in general, and it applies directly to the mental process. So often those really raw, painful emotions come from over-processing. Sometimes it's easier to stay focused on what you can't change than it is to take responsibility for what you can. It can be easier to tell someone else what to do than it is to do what you need to do. But now you're making a conscious choice to stop stirring that energy. You can even look at this as being a little bit selfish in a good way. You're making peace with yourself first, making peace with everything in your immediate experience, and that makes your own little corner of the world a better place for everybody.